I like the show RWBY. I have a review of the first 5 seasons, or volumes as they call it, of the series. I'll link that down below. This video won't really be in the same vein as that. I don't want to go too deep into the characters, plot, stuff like that. I kind of cover that in my review, so please check that out if you're more so into that kind of thing. What I wanted to do here is explain a bit of my personal experience with the show and why I think that most would enjoy this series. RWBY, for those that don't know, is a CG animated fantasy series made by Rooster Teeth, a popular internet entertainment company who now operate as their own streaming service with their own YouTube channels and everything, and they have forums and shops for their creative works, and have really, built themselves up to be sort of their own entity, their own community. And seemingly a really cool organization. Honestly, RWBY is like really the only thing that I've watched from them. So, yeah. I can only really talk about RWBY. I know that a lot of people like Red vs. Blue. Haven't personally really watched that myself, but I've heard that it is quite good. I had known of the show's existence for years, but it wasn't until this last year that I jumped onto the hype train, albeit very late, and the community fan base was so far ahead of me, like in lore knowledge and character development, that I couldn't really relate to RWBY YouTubers, as my power level of show knowledge paled in comparison to them. Um, so one thing that should stand out, for those that know me, I'm not one to binge watch anything, but I binge the fuck out of this show. A lot of the episodes were on YouTube. I don't know if they still are, but I watched these first 5 seasons in 3 days, and I loved every minute of it. And I also watched the entire series again. Showed my dad, and he really liked it too. My dad and I share a lot of love of anime with each other and stuff, and we both really really enjoyed this. So I watched all of it again with him shortly after my first watch. Also, I'm not one to care about currently airing stuff, but I am, at the time of this recording, RWBY Volume 6, or Season 6, is airing weekly, and I am glued to my monitor every week, waiting for the new episode to drop. This show has changed me in that regard. It's that good. Now, it doesn't make me do it with other shows, but I do it for RWBY. The art style is a perfect representation of visual evolution, I think. Now, I realize that the creators made a lot of money after the first couple seasons. The show got really popular, and Rooster Teeth's wallets, let's all admit it, at this point, aren't empty. So it probably should look good now. But the strides that the show has made, the strides that they've taken on an animation level from season 1 to season 6 is amazing. And it's something that I have to give Rooster Teeth a lot of credit for. Oh, and this has the best soundtrack of all time. Every season. It's amazeballs. As to why I'm moderately obsessed with the show, well, I think I was hungry for some awesome American animation. Avatar was gone and done at this point. Steven Universe puts out new episodes twice a year. And while I love stuff like Rick and Morty, I desired something more concrete and entertaining on multiple levels. Not just laughs or witty dialogue, not just blind action with no real backstory or purpose. I wanted something to give me all I wanted in a show, with my own selfish demands of having all my bases covered, and RWBY did that, and continues to do that. It could be funny, action-packed, aesthetically pleasing, and its greatest factor, in my opinion, it's intriguing. The whole thing just intrigues me. The interesting magic system that they have, the cool powers, the amazingly choreographed fights, blending physical combat with elemental control, and the summoning of familiars and other sort of supernatural abilities or supernatural entities involved in this. I love the references to Cinderella, Joan of Arc, A Clockwork Orange, even. There's a myriad of fairy tale references, and I'm sure like fable references that I probably goes over my head, but I'm sure somebody's made a video about that kind of stuff because it's splashed all over this show creatively. I love that the series tackles issues such as like that has some aspects of racism with certain classes of people within the show. I won't get into sort of spoiler territory, but it has like aspects. While it is like a fantasy series, and you got people fighting with like magic and sniper rifle scythes and stuff. Which, by the way, the weapons are badass in this show. Everybody has a dual weapon. It doubles as a gun and a blade most of the time. So if you like guns, you'll like the show. If you like blades, you might like the show. But it does cover a lot of sort of the interpersonal relationships between individuals with a common goal, yet coming from very different backgrounds. And a lot of that is portrayed in our main characters, but it's also portrayed in a lot of the side characters that we have. I have rarely come across a series in which I bother to ask questions, seek answers consistently, always wanting more, yet still satisfied with what I've been given. And RWBY does that, It's like, I like to compare it to like Thanksgiving dinner. I eat delicious food, a lot of delicious food, even some delicious dessert, and I want more. But if it doesn't happen immediately, because I just gorged on some savory satisfaction, that I could have more eventually. Like more is gonna come down the line, and every like new episode of RWBY like gives me that feeling. Like something good is going to come. Even if an episode can be kind of meh, and I will tell you, the show is not entirely perfect. Some episodes aren't as memorable as others, but they usually will hint at something coming down the line, or show you something new that you didn't know about the world or something. And it just, I don't know, it always gets me wanting to watch more. And not a lot of shows have done that, and I've been an anime fan for a long time, and believe me, there's a lot of anime that are far better than this show. But it's just something about this show that just like keeps me gripped, At first glance, like a lot of people, I thought this was like a slightly like mature magical girl show, and while it has some elements of that, it's so much more. I consider RWBY one of the best examples of Western animation at this point. It really is. Like I said, is it perfect? Hell no. Some episodes in season 1 are kind of forgettable. Seasons 4 and 5, in general, kind of, and for a lot of the fan base, seem to lose some people, and it kind of can meander for a little bit. But I mean, a lot of shows do that, I would argue. Seasons 4 or 5 are kind of meh in my book. But the setup for a tremendous season 6, which is currently airing, was there. And now in season 6 you can see that. Seasons 1 through 3 establish the core characters and build up the world just enough to keep you asking questions. They show you a little bit, tell you a little bit, but leave you wanting more. To all the hardcore neckbeard otaku out there claiming that anything non-Japanese can't be anime, just know that you're wrong. This is anime. Avatar is an anime. Fucking Danny Phantom is an anime. Nana Nana Boo Boo, stick your head in doo doo. I'm better than you. This show's success is also massive. And while popularity doesn't always mean something's good. I mean, look at like modern music. I think it assures us all that we will have at least a satisfying conclusion to this show. I'm hoping that it has a strong finish to the great ride that it was. I just hope that this conclusion doesn't happen anytime soon, because that means I would have to say goodbye to RWBY. At which case I'll probably just watch it again, because I really like this show, if you haven't gotten that yet. If you have seen RWBY, let me know what you thought about it down below. Again, I know it's not perfect, but I think in terms of Western animation, I hold it in a high regard, and anime overall, I hold it in a high regard. It would be up there with my favorites, and I'm so glad that I finally decided to hop on the hype train. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought down below. I do have a Patreon if you guys are willing, or if you like this kind of stuff, please check that out. There's a couple of different rewards on there. Thanks to Nea and J-Chip for their kind donation this month. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. My name is Miasma, and I'm signing out.